First heard of Dispatch, actually through a friend of mine. I was talking to him one day and he said, you should check out this band Dispatch. They're selling out shows in places that they've never been. So he said, check this out, I think you'll like it. I went to Napster and downloaded a few of their tracks and went to their website and really got into their stuff. I liked it a lot. I think part of it's also just the fact that people learned about Dispatch through other means. They didn't hear them on the radio, they didn't see them on MTV. They learned about them through someone recommending it to them, which is a pretty strong way of learning about music. The fact that the fans at the shows are so passionate is probably a direct result of that. And what's cool to me is that I think Dispatch realizes that. They realize that a lot of their fans, a lot of the grassroots following that they have is a much stronger bond than, say, somebody who just heard a catchy track once on the radio.
The deal with Napster is just that it was amazing timing. I mean, being independent, we never had radio at our fingertips, and it wasn't. We realized that it wasn't realistic to think that if we made good music, that meant automatically it would just be played. So I think we focused on touring, and Napster kind of became that underground signal that we were looking for.
You can start a band, and here's a way to get the music out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need the record company.
You don't need the record company. I mean, and that's what excited us so much.
Napster kind of seemed to be a place where quality music actually did get exposed. Because if people liked music, then they could go find it.
The congressional hearing was really cool, and we were down in Washington D.C. sitting behind Chuck D. and you know, looking at Don Henley and Alanis Morissette up on the panel, and we were a little disgruntled because we thought that there should have been a member of an independent band on the panel to sort of give them our view.
We were able to talk to two of the senators after the fact, and they said, you know, we're going to have another panel, and we'd love for, you know, one of you guys to come down and talk about it, but they just missed an opportunity to have an independent voice, you know, represent the fact that Napster isn't just about ripping people off. You know, in the Napster years, more records were sold anyway. So I think right now there are a lot of people scratching their heads trying to figure out what's going to happen.
So it was a real good thing for us, and we would always, you know, promote Napster at our shows, saying, "Burn away, you know, it's cool with us." And I remember telling Shawn Fanning that, you know, people would cheer when we would mention Napster at our shows, and he was so psyched that Napster had this sort of underground respect.
I hope they do keep working on some sort of formula for it, because the idea that, you know, one company should own a lot of the radio stations doesn't make sense.
All the labels mixed with two huge corporate umbrellas run all of the radio stations, you know, coast to coast. And there are radio stations now that are starting to realize that there's a void for music like ours. And 94.7 in Chicago, The Zone, they're starting to play us. For whatever reason, their program director is trying something new, and you know, maybe satellite radio and some of the other things will bring it around. But people just need to know that they don't have to deal with this.
Our band's growth is one of the most positive things that came out of Napster, as far as independent bands being able to have a national audience.